the sun rose over the tranquil shores of the eastern Mediterranean, its golden rays painting the sky in hues of orange and red. Ancient cities like Ugarit and Mycenae bustled with life. Markets were filled with merchants, soldiers patrolled well-fortified walls, and scholars recorded their knowledge on clay tablets. Yet a whisper traveled across the winds, rumors of unstoppable raiders who moved like shadows, leaving devastation in their wake. Out at sea, fishermen spoke of unfamiliar ships with curved prows and ominous designs. Their sails bore unknown symbols, and their movements were swift and coordinated. The gentle breeze turned ominous as coastal settlements began reporting mysterious raids, leaving smoldering ruins where thriving ports once stood. Pharaoh Ramesses of Egypt, one of the mightiest rulers of the time, received reports of these mysterious invaders. His messengers, weary from their journey, described waves of destruction sweeping through the Levant. The heat of the Egyptian sun seemed oppressive as his generals prepared for the inevitable war with an enemy they barely understood. The city of Ugarit, a jewel of the Bronze Age, fell victim to the Sea Peoples. Survivors recalled hearing the clash of weapons and the crackle of flames as the invaders stormed through their streets. The soldiers of Ugarit, overwhelmed by the relentless onslaught, were struck by the eerie silence of the attackers, broken only by the roar of destruction. Who were these Sea Peoples? Ancient texts described them as fierce and unyielding, wielding unfamiliar weapons and clad in strange armor. Theories about their origins ranged from displaced tribes to wandering mercenaries, but no single answer could explain their sudden rise and devastating force. Like a storm unleashed upon the land, the Sea Peoples toppled one great civilization after another. The Hittite Empire, weakened by internal strife, crumbled under their assault. The once great Mycenaean palaces were reduced to ashes, their legendary warriors unable to stem the tide of destruction. A fleet of Sea Peoples clashed with the navies of Egypt in a dramatic confrontation on the open waters. The salty spray of the Mediterranean mixed with the cries of battle as Egyptian oarsmen strained to maneuver their vessels. Egyptian archers, standing under the blazing sun, loosed arrows that darkened the sky, determined to protect their homeland. The Nile Delta became the stage for Pharaoh Ramesses III's desperate stand against the Sea Peoples. Egyptian chariots raced across the sands, their wheels kicking up clouds of dust, while infantry formed ranks under the oppressive heat. The invaders fought fiercely, but Egypt's disciplined forces and defensive strategies held the line, preserving the kingdom's legacy. Carvings on temple walls at Medinet Habu immortalized Egypt's struggle against the Sea Peoples. The reliefs depicted the chaos and bravery of the battles, with both sides locked in a deadly dance of survival. The pharaoh proclaimed victory, but the scars left by the Sea Peoples lingered on the region's memory. As the dust settled, the Bronze Age world lay in tatters. Trade networks collapsed, cities became ruins, and knowledge was lost to the ashes of war. Those who survived faced a new reality, one marked by uncertainty and the slow rebuilding of their shattered societies. Archaeologists have long debated the origins of the Sea Peoples. Were they displaced Aegean populations fleeing natural disasters, or the collapse of their own societies? Or were they marauding warriors driven by hunger and ambition, seeking new lands to conquer? Evidence suggests the Sea Peoples were not a single group, but a confederation of tribes and raiders. Names like the Peliset, Sheridan, and Lucca appear in ancient texts, hinting at a complex network of maritime invaders. Their unity in destruction made them an unparalleled force of the ancient world. Some scholars argue that climate change and famine played a role in the rise of the Sea Peoples. The late Bronze Age collapse coincided with droughts and food shortages, pushing displaced peoples to seek survival through conquest. The scorching Mediterranean sun and failing crops became catalysts for upheaval. The Sea Peoples wielded advanced weaponry for their time, including lightweight swords and efficient shields. Their mobility and adaptability on both land and sea gave them an edge against the rigid armies of the Bronze Age. The clang of their weapons became a harbinger of doom for their enemies. For those who faced the Sea Peoples, fear and uncertainty were as destructive as their swords. Kings and generals spoke of sleepless nights, their minds haunted by the shadowy threat. The psychological weight of an invisible enemy shattered alliances and sowed distrust among neighboring states. Civilizations that survived the Sea Peoples were forever changed. The once thriving Minoans and Mycenaeans faded into history, their achievements remembered only in myths and ruins. Survivors adapted, forging new ways of life amid the wreckage of the old world. Some scholars identify the Peliset, one of the Sea Peoples, with the Philistines of biblical fame. Their settlement in Canaan marked a shift from raiders to settlers, blending with local cultures. The story of the Sea Peoples became intertwined with the history of ancient Israel. Excavations across the Mediterranean have uncovered tantalizing evidence of the Sea Peoples. Weapons, pottery, and shipwrecks provide glimpses into their world, though many questions remain unanswered. The dry, crumbling remains of ancient cities whisper of their impact. The memory of the Sea Peoples lingered in ancient records, a reminder of the fragility of civilization. They became symbols of chaos and destruction, their shadow stretching into the cultural consciousness of the ancient world. Their story remains a warning of the consequences of upheaval and displacement. Despite centuries of research, the true identity and motives of the Sea Peoples remain shrouded in mystery. Their rise and fall left an indelible mark on history, shaping the course of the ancient world. As historians and archaeologists continue to piece together their story, the Sea Peoples remind us of the power and peril of the unknown. Our journey through time comes to an end for today. We embark on new adventures every week. If you relish the experience, please like and subscribe.